A reversal of the two-speed economy now sees residential construction in the eastern states driving the nation's prosperity. But some have likened the current housing boom in Sydney and Melbourne to a population Ponzi scheme, and housing affordability is a major problem. How long does the panel think that housing and population growth can continue to make up for mining and manufacturing? And is it time for a rethink of the generous tax concessions offered by negative gearing?
I'll start with Penny Wong because that is a specific policy of the Labor Party.
Well, I mean, we have a view, and I think, you know, a fair few people have backed it in, frankly, that you don't have a serious housing affordability policy unless you tackle negative gearing and capital gains tax. We have some of the most generous tax incentives in the world for investors. We have a very small proportion of new owners of housing being bought by first home buyers. We've got very large numbers or proportion of investors in the market. Something's got to give, and if we don't tackle the tax incentives which really don't level, which skew the playing field towards investors, then you really don't have a housing affordability policy. And the extraordinary thing is that we saw the Treasurer today giving a speech on housing affordability where the single biggest area which he needs to address was off the table for political reasons, not for policy reasons.
You mean negative gearing?
Negative gearing, yes, because they want to be able to belt us about it rather than actually have a sensible discussion about the policy.
Just a very brief one. The Australian ran up the flagpole the idea that Morrison, the Treasurer, would talk in that speech about the idea of super funds for first home buyers being able to be rated to pay for housing, or at least to give a deposit.
Well, this is the idea that Malcolm Turnbull himself has described as a thoroughly bad idea, and I agree with him, because if you're saying to people, raid your retirement savings, which is what it is, to purchase a house, seems to me pretty bad economic policy.
Okay, Mitch Fifield.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks, David. Negative gearing ultimately is a way of getting a tax deduction for an expense incurred in earning income. That's what negative gearing is.
If you already own a house, to be precise.
But that's part of our system of taxation. What we have great difficulty with is Labor presenting negative gearing as though it somehow magically solves the housing shortage and housing affordability. It wouldn't. It's something that people have made investment decisions upon. So you don't want to go changing these things lightly. Overwhelmingly, the single greatest contributor to the housing affordability issue is land supply, is lack of land in the right places, is zoning restrictions that make it difficult to develop, is red tape that makes it difficult for housing estates, and also importantly, having infrastructure like transport in the right places. Those things together probably make the greatest contribution to the housing affordability issue.
Mitch, I'll come back to you. Yes,
finish on one point.
I will come back to you, but make your quick point.
Yeah, just quick point. Ultimately, this is a shared endeavour between federal, state and local governments, which is why the Treasurer has indicated that in the budget we will have measures where the Commonwealth can make a contribution to doing something about this issue.
Two very quick points. One, Mitch talks about retrospectivity. Our policy was no retrospectivity, so existing assets would be continue to be treated the same. What we wanted to do was restrict negative gearing to new housing to try and pull on supply. But the second point, the government never answers. Why should somebody buying their seventh house have more tax incentives than someone buying their first?
Well, actually, I'll let you respond to this because you obviously want to.